It comes as no surprise that the propaganda arm of the Democrat Party, called the mainstream media, has no interest in informing the American people of the gravity of the raw evidence piling up that Joe Biden has been bought off by the Chinese Communist Party. Thanks to the efforts of James Comer, we already have bank records of over $1 million flowing to Biden family members through a cutout named Rob Walker, shortly after Biden left office as vice president. As we all knew damn well, there is no indication of any particular service performed for this treasure, nor is there any expertise among the recipients, who include the current drooler-in-chief's son, Hunter, his brother James, Hunter's mistress at the time, Haley Biden, every bit as disgusting as it sounds, who is also his brother's widow and Biden's daughter-in-law, and lastly, an entity simply named Biden. So basically, the whole damn family was cashing in on the slow invasion of our country by the Chinese Communist Party. But hey, Trump paid off some stripper years ago, so move along, there's nothing to see here. Sad day. And really sad days ahead. Representative Comer appeared on Maria Bartiromo's Sunday Morning Futures program on Fox News, one of the few decent and believable people left on Fox. He said that this is, quote, only the beginning. There are, quote, as many as 11 other deals that are being examined by his committee. 11! And then this dumb bastard ran for president afterwards. The arrogance is unbelievable. Just imagine what the rest of these douchebags are up to. It's crazy. Comer emphasized that this investigation is of Joe Biden, not his family. The family members are intermediates or go-betweens in the flow of money from Beijing-controlled entities to Biden entities. We'll watch the interview of Comer later. Here's the latest from Jim Jordan on the matter.
Jim Jordan of Ohio. He's chairman of both the House Judiciary Committees and the new subcommittee on weaponization of the federal government. We'll get into that with him. He's also a member of Oversight, a very busy person. All right, let's start with these 12 other business deals. What are we learning?
Yeah. Well, I think there's a couple fundamental questions, Harris. First of all, who's the unknown Biden? And then second, what was the service they were providing that warranted receiving all this money and these millions of dollars? I mean, what work did they do? What service? It's just like Shazam. Here shows up millions of dollars. What did they do for it? I mean, those are, to me, are the fundamental questions, and that's what the committee's trying to get at. And I would always point out, too, that they're called suspicious activity reports for a reason. The activity in these bank accounts is suspicious, so much so that the Treasury Department puts together these reports that we're now finally getting access to and beginning to go through. So those, to me, are the fundamental questions. That's what Chairman Comer wants to get to the bottom of so that the American people have the truth.
Even the left actually does not love the optics of the Biden family's China money trail. Let's watch together.
And it doesn't sound good. There's a guy whose name is John Robinson Walker. He gets $3 million from a Chinese-based company and proceeds to wire it out to a bunch of people named Biden, one of whom is Hunter Biden. Another one is a company that belongs to the president's brother, James Biden, and another amount of money to Beau Biden's widow, Hallie. So, again, from a layperson, that doesn't look good.
It doesn't smell good, she said. That's code for how are we going to cover him and cover this?
Yeah, it doesn't look good, and it's suspicious. Not Jim Jordan, not Jamie Comer saying that. It's suspicious according to the United States Treasury Department, to Janet Yellen's agency. They're the ones who said this all looks suspicious, and that's why they put together these reports that we're going to go through.
You know what? Let me ask you about something, though, just in terms of suspicious activity reports. How common are they? How common would it be that you'd have north of 150 on a single individual? Just talk to me about what they really are.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this volume of suspicious activity reports is probably somewhat unprecedented. I'm sure they happen. I'm sure there's legitimate reasons why people can explain, oh, here's why this happened, and okay, no problem. We initially thought it was suspicious. Now maybe it's not. But when you have this number all about this family, and again, I think this account, the one that Mr. Comer's talked about, Chairman Comer's talked about a lot, where this $3 million shows up, I think he said before that there was very little money in this account. And then all of a sudden, here comes $3 million. And as you you point out, then it's paid out to people all with the same last name, and one of them being the unknown Biden. So that's a concern. And again, I think the American people are entitled to know what was going on here.
Needless to say, if Trump or any Republican office holder were similarly found to have received major funding via family members from our principal adversary and had a history of softness towards our adversary, an interview like Comer's would lead every television newscast and would be on the front page of most newspapers. The word treason would probably be a major feature of the conversations Americans would hear on cable news. But the media silence won't stop the flow of records and won't stop the depositions and testimonies to come. I take Comer at his word that the Biden camp assumed the bank records would never come to light. They know what kind of money is involved, and they must realize how toxic this could become. Whether or not the case of the deep state and Alvin Bragg against Trump is an attempted distraction, a very successful one so far, doesn't really matter. Any enemy funding a president with millions of dollars is a story that just cannot be contained. Here is the full interview.
For more on this investigation into the Biden family's business dealings and to the expected Trump indictment this week is the House Oversight Committee Chairman, Congressman James Comer. Congressman, thanks very much for being here this morning. So, Congressman, let's go through some of those bank records. This is really the first batch of bank records you were able to get because they've been stonewalling you. Are there more?
There are many more, Maria. This is one deal. We think there are as many as 11 more deals. Now, we don't know what those deals are. What the Bidens, in the beginning, the White House denied having any knowledge or the fact that their family was involved in any sort of way, shape, or form with the CCP. But now we have bank records that reveal otherwise. We don't know what the Bidens did in return for this money. The lawyer said that it was seed capital for a business. We haven't been able to find a business, Maria. We're going to have an opportunity to ask people about that were closely aligned with the Biden family. We've talked to them privately. I'm not going to reveal what they say privately, but very soon they'll either be talking to everyone in the form of a deposition or even better in a committee hearing. But right now it looks like the Biden family just pocketed this money. This is one deal. We have 11 more to go, and I'm pretty confident we'll be getting more bank records in very soon.
All right, so $1 million distributed to the Bidens on one deal, and you say there are 11 others. Let's talk about what possibly the CCP could have been paying for. Do you have any indication, whether it be from the laptop, from your investigation, that gives us any information about what specifically China was paying the Biden family for?
Well, we know that when the president was vice president in the Obama administration, he made several trips to China. He brought his son and some of these associates with him. They met in different places with some of these people that the president claimed he never met with. So we know the president hasn't been truthful about his involvement when he was vice president. But from talking to former associates that were involved with Hunter Biden, what we know the Biden family had agreed to help China do was get their foot in the door on the American energy industry, not just purchase liquefied natural gas, but also purchase interest in drillers for natural gas, as well as try to do things like help China buy farmland. Remember, this is something that every American's outraged over. There's bipartisan support in Congress to try to block China from coming in and taking over various interests of our American economy. And now we learned that the Biden family was directly involved with helping China navigate the federal bureaucracy and the sanctions involved with the U.S. government. So this is very concerning, and this is why we're going to continue this investigation of Joe Biden. And remember, it's an investigation of Joe Biden.
That's right. Yes. And I've been saying that from day one, that it's an investigation of Joe Biden, not Hunter Biden, because they were paying for Joe Biden. I mean, they were paying for time or influence, whatever it is, from a sitting vice president. But there was something on the laptop that was also informative, where Hunter Biden is talking to a colleague, somebody who was representing the China partnership, right?
Yes. There was a message that Hunter was very frustrated with one of these business partners in China, that he had done every blanking thing they had ever asked of him. And of course, this would have been when Joe Biden was vice president. And he reminded them that they had never done anything in return for him. And then a few weeks later, this $3 million wire appears in the Robinson Walker account. And the very next day, they distributed money to Hunter Biden and then at least 2 other family members and possibly 3 family members. So there's evidence in the laptop that shows that Hunter Biden was communicating with them and had interactions and done things for them while his father was vice president. So this is very concerning. Again, the White House hasn't been truthful about this from day one. I don't think the White House ever dreamed we would get bank records. I've got bad news for the White House. This is just the beginning. We're going to get a lot more bank records, and they're going to have to continue to backpedal and come up with some type of reason why the Biden families received millions and millions of dollars from our adversaries.
Well, this is so incredibly dangerous, and I mean, it feels sinister. The Chinese Communist Party wants to overtake the #1 superpower, take America down, become the #1 superpower, and they've been coming at us at all ends, a surveillance balloon. We even have Chinese nationals coming into the wide-open southern border. The apprehension numbers are up 1,000% year over year. And yet you've got Joe Biden, doing these deals with China while he was vice president, and now real soft on China. There was no response to the surveillance balloon. There was no response to COVID-19 leaking from the lab. I don't even think he's ever raised it with Xi Jinping. How much do they have on Joe Biden?
Well, that's what we're going to find out. That's what this investigation is all about. It sure seems that Joe Biden makes strange decisions that oftentimes put America last and China first. And we want to know if he's compromised because of the millions and millions of dollars that his family has taken from China. And we're going to continue with this investigation. And I think over the last 2 weeks, we've already presented a lot of evidence as to why this investigation is of the utmost importance.
And when will you be putting out subpoenas?
Well, we've subpoenaed a bank. More to come, Maria. I think that the American people are going to see this is a very calculated, very credible investigation. We're taking steps. I've been transparent with the American people from day one. We're going to follow the money. We knew there was a money trail. We've spoken to enough people that were involved in these shady business schemes all around the world. Everything that we've subpoenaed thus far was accurate from what our whistleblowers were telling us, and we have a whole lot more information. Again, this is just the first deal, and we have many more to come.
Wow. All right, Mr. Chairman, we'll be watching for those additional 11 deals and whether there was money transferred. Thanks very much for your time and your work. House Oversight Committee Chairman, Congressman James Comer.
Most of this came by way of the American Thinker. If you liked it, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Leave a comment down below. There's a PayPal link in the description box, so please put $1 in the bucket on the way out the door. I'd like to thank everyone for all your donations. They're much needed and much appreciated. Now, with all that being said, we'll see you next time.
All right. Come on, move. Move. Easy, easy.